when somebody qualifies and buys a house, is the deed put in their name and are they responsible for the taxes?
Where did my people go here? Just so, oh, not that one. That one. Right, so they qualify by being done. And the table goes on. They go to a lender of their choice, get a loan product of their choice. Well, not absolutely. IHFA, because of this other money, is going to be involved. But the buyer has a lot of choice. They have to qualify. They have to go to the bank. They have to qualify using the bank's rules for a loan. Then at closing, this second loan gets written, a loan that they qualify for by virtue of buying this house, the gap, the little red gap piece. The title is in their name. The liens are on the land just like anybody else's purchase of a house, but the lien is, there's two. There's one from the bank and there's one from IHFA for the gap financing. You sell the house, you clear off the liens. So it's normal. That's a good question.
Well, I would just add to it because I have all these hearings because I'm on the Board of Tax Appeals. And you come across this, and years ago I had, the appellant had worked in the logging industry all his life. You know, it was the mining industry, I'm sorry, mining. And the mining company had built his house. And then when the mine closed, they let the people have them, the houses, for like, something like $10,000. Well, this is up by Wallace. When in Wallace and Kellogg are sort of starting to rebound because of tourists. So the assessment, the county assessment for his house, based on sales all around him, and he really kept his place nice, you know, was probably $150,000.
Right, fair market value was
Yeah.
what it was by the neighbors.
And the
Right.
man is just like, you know,
That's not what I paid for
I
it.
paid $10,000 for this house.
Right,
I'm on retirement, you know, what am I gonna do? How do I continue to live? And I've heard more than one of those, you know, and so some states, you know, look at California's model where the taxes didn't go up until it's sold the next time and stuff, but there is really nothing except the homeowner's exemption in Idaho to try to keep people in their homes who, as the values go up.
as the value goes up, right, so the tax go up.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't have any fix for that.
Yeah,
Right.
I think.
You bet.
The opposite side of that is someone goes up to Wallace, Kellogg area, and they buy a house like that. But they came from California and had a bunch of money, and they paid $250,000.
Yeah.
So they overpaid, but still they're gonna pay taxes at the $150,000 value. Well, you know, taxes are unfair as taxes are, but in trying to be as equitable as you can, the person paying $10,000 or the person paying $250,000, if they're all in that fair market value of $150,000, they're being treated more equitably than something else where you don't pay taxes until you sell your house or something like that.
A problem with Prospect Place, we wanted to build in there, small lots. And it was 55 and older. And it was by the state of Idaho considered, it was just 5 feet on the sides to the property line. And it was considered, I can't think of what the designation.
They were condominium units, they were platted as condominium units.
Condominium units. And that got to be a problem when the down market turned down. And then they couldn't resell them because they couldn't find a bank that would loan it. That was the first market that collapsed, and the banks didn't want to go there. again. So
Yeah, I
there's,
think a
there
lot
are
of-
a lot of problems out there.
A lot of runaway stuff in the form of condominiums in other markets, which was part of what caused the crash. But the fallout was banks didn't want to lend on
Yeah.
condos.
Yep.
And the outcome for Prospect Place was the group came back, the condo association came back and asked to have a planned unit development. So took a little jigger, I was on P&Z at the time, to fit lines in around what had been built. And now they actually own those lots fee simple, so it's no longer a condo.
No, well, they're in,
There's some sort of
they're
association still.
they're
'cause
trying to
there's a-
get it through the state of Idaho yet, to, the last I heard. And
Okay.
that's been a couple of years ago.
So the PUD didn't solve all their problems.
Well, the state of Idaho had a hard time switching from condominium to it. And they did all the paperwork for it. The last I heard, it still hadn't gone through. But there were some banks that came forth. Potlatch was one of them.
So that is one of the things that I would not want to take the trust into doing, would be to do condos. I
Yeah.
think that the complications for our buyer, when our buyer becomes our seller, I just don't want to burden them with that. And the other is, I'm leery of planned unit developments. Temple Commons would be an example out White Avenue.
That
The
would-
cottages is, no, that's a
They're
condo.
PUD.
Is it
The
PUD?
cottages are PUD.
Are they?
Yeah.
Tends to be that PUDs have, they're allowed to write their own set of zoning rules, if you will, and they make private streets, and all of a sudden, the association is liable for a bunch of those issues. And again, I worry for our buyer, who, we kind of know is up to their eyeballs in debt, getting into that house. We had a real problem with the sewer, and we have to rip up the street, and we have to raise our association dues. And all of a sudden, our buyer, who was treading water, is now underwater and can't make the set of payments. So I'd rather have fee simple, clear
These
ownership.
will be fee
Based on
simple
public street.
townhouses?
Townhouses are gonna be fee simple.
Yep.
Oh,
They're
okay.
gonna face a public street, they're gonna own to the backyard, they're gonna own around the sky, and they will have a common wall, and they will have a legal liability to their neighbor to not let their roof leak and ruin their neighbor's house. But no dues or
Yeah.
associations or other entanglements.
Oh, okay.
Those have become very popular in the Midwest and the Northeast,
Mhm.
again, because land prices are,
Yeah.
So you suggested something about the dynamic between developer and buyer in terms of the desirability of large single-home lots in this market, and the dearth of small lot availability. Given that what we're hearing at the national level, the greater interest in millennials in being renters, and not necessarily aspiring to home ownership, are there trends you identified for the popularity of like the baby boomers like me wanting to age in place and have a small footprint, nice quality,
Smaller house.
affordable utilities like energy efficient, maybe green built kind of dwelling unit? And do you think that there's some role for developers to talk that up and say, hey, this is what you, the public, want, and we're
I'll put
building
more
that?
things out there.
Yeah, there were a couple of ideas in there. What millennials are doing in major urban areas versus what they're doing in Moscow. I am not sure they're the same thing.
Right.
And then, and I don't know well, and I don't know how to build a project around millennials wanting to own small houses or not wanting to own small. I mean, I'm in the house owning business, so if they want to be renters, then they're not my customer. The problem with the age in place that I've seen, the people that I've talked to, they're not in those income brackets. They want a small house. They want it at a modest price. They'll sell the other house and they'll cash out and they'll buy this one for cash. But I can't help with that problem. Conceivably, we could, on these 12 lots, build out some of them with no federal money. And the board would come up with a new set of policies and build them out to target a different audience. But I'm not,
Yeah.
capital is my challenge, and I'm not capitalized to do that yet.
Could maybe selling some at fair market value, for example, help capitalize you? Because, you know, like, so for example, you know, Nancy's saying, you know, there's people that want to downsize. Well, maybe the full price from those subsidizes the prices for the other ones. I mean, that might be a possibility if you make it, and also it creates more diversity, so it's not, oh, that's the low income housing part.
Yeah, that's great, if I can get into this column. And I'm not sure yet if I can get the product to sell at a price point that is less than or equal to what it costs to build it. The fixed costs don't change. The sewer tap costs the same amount, the water tap costs the same amount, the curb and the gutter in front might be a little bit more if you have a wider lot, but there's a lot of those costs that I'm stuck with, yeah. So I don't know enough yet about the costs of this first floor. We're working on construction drawings now, trying to get better prices, but you know, you get people to eyeball it and they go, oh, yeah. But I want to see a bid price before I relieve some of those numbers. So yes, it would be great. And I've thought about just flipping the lots, selling those off as a short-term way, or as you suggest, build them out and then sell them off. But I can't count any federal money in it in that process.
Right.
So that means I have to get other kinds of financing, bank loan 75%. It's a puzzle. I need to leave time for announcements or whatever you do at the end of your
Yes.
hour.